Welcome to another segment of the Grassy Knoll. This is the last day in January, the 31st, 2007. We have with us today Eric John Phelps. The website is VaticanAssassins.org. He's coming out with a new edition of the book, Vatican Assassins. And we're going to look forward to that. That's going to be an electronic resource, I believe, a DVD, CD. Anyway, we're going to get the skinny straight from the individual who penned Vatican Assassins. Eric, welcome again to the Grassy Knoll.
A pleasure to be with you, Viz, and your listeners.
All right, now, this is going to be a CD, right?
Yes, it's going to be a CD. It will probably be nearly, 1,900 pages, has over 750 pictures. For those who really don't prefer to read, they can look at the pictures, read the captions. It's the same story in a very simplistic way.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay.
And then also they have the permission and the copyright to download it and put it in book form. And any foreigner can put it, translate any portion or all of it in its foreign language.
All right. Excellent. All right. I just want to make a statement, and that is, with all that's going around nowadays, I get it, from those who think I am and you are and Greg Zemansky all nuts. And these are the people who want to hate Jews. And let's call it what it is. It's hatred. Because if it weren't hatred, some kind of intellectual, analytical logic would cut through it. And there's some people who think that all Islam is bad or the bane of the world. And, as long as you keep that deep-seated resentment, you feed the beast. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, now, a very interesting topic, I think, and that is how the Vatican has pretty much gone hand in hand with Islam. So, Eric, pick it up at whatever point you wish.
Okay, I'd like to first point out to your listeners the tremendous parallels between Romanism and Islam. Romanism has a pope. Islam historically had the caliph. Romanism has canon law, which they put that on an equal level with their Bible. And, of course, their Bible is Jerome's Latin Vulgate. It is not the Hebrew Old Testament or the Text Receptus, the Greek text that we use. So, therefore, the Bible that they accept is not the Bible. It is a false Bible, Jerome's Latin Vulgate, and they put that on an equal basis or an equal level with canon law, which includes the Council of Trent today. Third, they have their Jesus. Romanism has Jesus, but this is not the Jesus of the Bible. It is the Jesus who was the Horus of Egypt, the Nimrod of Babylon. It's the fake Jesus. So Romanism has this prophet Jesus. Islam has the prophet Muhammad. Romanism aspires to world empire. Islam is aspiring to world empire. Romanism had the Crusades. Islam has had jihads. Romanism has forced conversions, converts at the edge of the sword. The same is true with Islam. They have forced conversions. Romanism has the return of Christ, supposedly, which in their minds is the final pope to rule the world. Islam has the final Muslim leader, which is the 12th Imam. Rome adores the Virgin Mary, and so does Islam. Islam has a whole section in the Quran on Mary. Rome has rosary beads. The Muslims count beads. They're both religions of salvation by works. You have to do thus and thus and thus to be acceptable with God, which is totally unbiblical in violation of the basic passages such as Ephesians 2:8 and 9. Rome holds Jerusalem to be sacred and aspires its control. Islam holds Jerusalem sacred and aspires to its control. Romanism is anti-Jew. Islam is anti-Jew. The capital of Rome is the Vatican. The capital of Islam is Mecca, in which is the Kaaba. So these are some of the few most more obvious parallels between the two religions. And of course the Bible teaches that Rome is the mother of harlots. And therefore Islam is the harlot of Rome. Therefore the Bible teaches that out of Rome, which is now the Mystery Babylon, that all these other religions proceed. So Islam ultimately, according to the Bible, had to proceed from Romanism.
What was first, Eric? I mean, I know I'm asking this rhetorically, but let's put this in a timeline. When does the Vatican come on the scene, and when does Islam come on the scene?
The Vatican comes on the scene formally with the first pope in about 400. Some people say Constantine was the first pope because he was called the Pontifex Maximus. But if you want to be strict about it, the first man who takes the title pope is around 400 AD. So first you have the conversion of the Roman Empire putting on this mask of religion, and it's now called Romanism, where the Pope now claims to be the Bishop of Rome and have the supreme powers over all the other bishops. And that's about 400. But Islam comes on the scene, becomes a powerful religion in the late 600s and early 700s. And that's when they conduct their huge crusade into North Africa. So it's first Romanism and then Islam. And I will show you how Rome was absolutely involved in the raising up of Muhammad, the financing of their jihads and crusades, and then ultimately the negotiations that the Muslims engaged in after their armies were too far extended into Spain. And the man who carried out the negotiation was St. Francis of Assisi.
I'm going to ask you a question right now because it's germane, okay? And folks, if you want to ask questions along these lines, please do so. You can do it by email, visigoth@hotmail.com. You can also use the MSN instant messaging service, and that's Visigoth. And like I said, this is very germane, so let me do a cold read for you. Do you believe the Roman Catholic Church created the Muslim religion through a woman dedicated to the Pope during that time?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. She was a older woman. And I can go through this history because I have it laid out here if you'd like me to.
Sure, and also let me just give you the if-then statement also. It says, if so, can you give a few details as to how this happened? I heard the woman had the task to find the appropriate boy to raise for the leader.
Okay, well, that's partially true. The woman was Muhammad's wife, but Muhammad's mother died when he was around 6 or so. But allow me to interview through the timeline so it'll be clear. Okay, Augustine was the most powerful Roman Catholic prelate in North Africa. And Augustine was, quote-unquote, a church father born in 354, and he was, quote-unquote, winning Arabs to Catholicism. But there were many Arabs who would not convert. So therefore, Rome decided to create a religion that they could use as if the Arabs would convert to Catholicism. So what happened was Rome sent spies to spread the rumor that a great leader would appear and gather the Arabs together. In 570, Muhammad was born in Mecca, the messenger of God. He establishes Islam, which today numbers over 1 billion people. His grandfather, Abd al-Muttalib, was a hero in that he found the treasures of Mecca that had been buried previously. He was the father of Abd Allah. And Abd Allah, he was to be sacrificed, and instead of him being sacrificed at the Kaaba, 300 camels were sacrificed. The Roman Catholic Arabs then pushed the concept of looking for an Arab prophet. So the Vatican now is pushing this concept of an Arab prophet coming on the scene. Well, the father of Muhammad, who was Abd Allah, marries Amina, A-M-I-N-A-H. She becomes pregnant. Soon after, the father, Abd Allah, dies, but Amina is pregnant with Muhammad. In 570, Muhammad is born, and he grows up, and this is what he says, because Muhammad was secretly tutored by agents from the Vatican in the writings of Augustine. And here is what Muhammad said, quote, Satan touches every son of Adam the day his mother beareth him, save only Mary and her son. He can only get this from Augustine, because what they're teaching Muhammad is the virgin birth of the Roman Catholic Christ, who is not our Christ, of course, and the virgin birth of Mary, which was only made a doctrine in 1854 by Rome. So through the teaching of the doctrines of Augustine to Muhammad, he believes this. And so now we see the very beginnings of the alignment of Rome with Muhammad. Muhammad takes, go back a little bit. Muhammad, his mother dies at 6, and his grandfather dies at 8, so he's committed to his uncle's care. At 9 years of age, while on a caravan, a Roman Catholic monk saw him and asked to see the mark on his back. And when he saw this mark, of which the Roman intelligence at the time knew that this young boy had this mark, he said, "This is the seal of prophethood." And he warned the uncle of Muhammad not to allow him near the Jews, for the Jews would seek to kill him. So right at the get-go, he's teaching anti-Jewish fury. At 25, Muhammad takes a wife, Khadijah, Khadijah, Khadijah. She was a wealthy Arab woman who was a faithful Romanist, and she gave her treasure to the Vatican, and she entered a convent. Well, they had a plan for this Khadijah. They remove her from the convent, and they send her to Muhammad for him to take her as his wife. They have 2 sons and 4 daughters. One of the daughters is Fatima. And Muhammad devours the works of Augustine while he's being advised. And Khadijah's cousin, his Roman Catholic cousin, his name is Waraqah. Waraquah, Waraqah. And he proclaims Muhammad to be the prophet of the Arabs. So now Rome has their Muhammad prophet. Now they have to create the religion of Islam. So we have here. Okay, now Muhammad and his fathers they refused to worship the idols in the Kaaba, so they had to flee to Abyssinia, and they're protected by a king, King Negus, Negus, and he's the Roman Catholic king of Abyssinia. And the reason why he protects Muhammad, of course, the king is under orders from Rome, but Muhammad also has the same views about the Virgin Mary that Rome has. And so, according to a myth, one night Muhammad is sleeping next to the Kaaba, and an angel takes him to Jerusalem. And then from Jerusalem he ascends into heaven, and he receives the creed of Islam. Then he returns to earth, and he begins his wars. And one of the doctrines that is put forth is that Abraham did not about to sacrifice Isaac on the rock there, over which the Dome of the Rock is built, but that Abraham was to sacrifice Ishmael. And that's why Islam built the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem over the ancient temple site. And it is now the third most holiest site in the religion of Islam, first Mecca, then Medina, and then Jerusalem's Dome of the Rock. So after this revelation that Muhammad supposedly gets, after his ascension into heaven and return, he starts his wars and he begins his attacks on the Jews in Medina. In 630, with 10,000 men, he takes Medina. The leaders submit. And in 632, he dies. He has 9 wives, 1 Roman Catholic concubine, and he is entombed in Medina. So Muhammad is born in Mecca. He ascends into heaven, quote-unquote, with his vision from Jerusalem, and is buried in Medina. Those are the 3 most holy places in the Arab world. Now, furthermore, we see Augustine. Augustine, now, as I mentioned, he's the creator of Muhammad. After Muhammad's death, the Pope issues bulls granting the Arab generals to conquer and invade North Africa. And who do they kill? They kill Bible-believing, many of them Arab and black, New Testament Christians, because, the gospel went to the blacks in Ethiopia in Acts chapter 8 with the Ethiopian eunuch who was the great eunuch Candace, the queen of the Ethiopians. So there were many blacks who were saved. There were New Testament believers in Ethiopia and in North Africa. And so the deal was, when Rome raised up these Muslim armies, was that they would do 3 things. They would